Hello, my name is Jamie, and today I am doing a book review on Sweet and Sour, Tales from China. These were retold by Carol Wendell and Yawen Li. So this is a collection of short stories that are from the Chinese tradition, from their history. They're like legends, and it really reminded me of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales because some of the tales were a little bit dark. Some of the tales were fanciful, like they wouldn't actually happen in real life. A lot of the tales taught some sort of lesson, but many of them were just these tales that were quirky and fun and made you think a little bit about the Chinese culture. So it was a lot of fun to go through. I don't even remember how many tales there were. There is no table of contents. This one is only 1 page long. There are a few illustrations, which is nice, but some of them are longer. Oh, that wasn't very long. So this one's 4 pages long, and then it gets into another one. This one's funny. It's like a bunch of men that they decide to go drink together, and each one of them is supposed to bring like a jug of wine or a bottle of wine, and they were supposed to all pour the wine into one bowl, and each of them, for one reason or another, had a reason why they were only going to bring water, and they were like, no one's going to notice because everybody else is bringing wine. But because all of them did that, then when they dumped it all into the bowl together, there was only water in there, and it was just funny. And none of them like said anything. They all just drank the water pretending it was wine, kind of like the emperor's new clothes. It was just funny. But that's kind of like, that's one of the stories, you know. This one's about logic, as it says. An old man asks a little boy if the sun is closer or if some city far away is closer, and he says the sun, obviously, because I can see the sun. And they go to town, and the little boy sees all these people from this other town that the old man was talking about at the beginning of the story, and he wanted to show off the boy's answer to these people. So he asked the boy again, well, which is closer, the sun or this town? And the boy's like, well, this town must be closer because I've never seen people from the sun. So it's just a cute little, a funny twist in that story. But there's a lot of stories like that. Here's another one. Another illustration for you to look at. Here's another. The thief who kept his hands clean. I actually heard this, it's kind of like a parable, a little story, in the book, The Great Horn Spoon. I wonder if they got that idea from this Chinese tradition, because the story is almost exactly the same, but the characters in the story are different. So it makes me wonder if they pulled it from this. No, they probably did, because it was so similar that I'm like, The Serpent Slayer, from bad to good, too bad, too good. This is a cool little picture. The Wine Bibber, Old Fuddlement, talking about this guy who thinks he's wise, but he's actually a fool, and no one can tell him he's a fool because he's the emperor. Bagged Wolf, that one was kind of dark. It was like a contest of wits between a man and a wolf to see who would end up alive at the end. So that was kind of, I finished that story and I was like, oh, okay. And that was a longer one. I'm flipping through the pages, and I think that story was 2, 4, 6, 8, looks like 9 pages long. So that was one of the longer ones. As you can tell, 9 pages, that's not very long for a story, but that's one of the longer stories in this book. Most of the stories run around 4 pages, I would say, is the average. The Pointing Finger, The Unanswerable, Kurtong, that one was sweet. It was really sweet. It was about this man who didn't have a wife, and he would hear this Kurtong in his garden, and it was the sound of the snail jumping back into a barrel of water, And like during the early morning while he was still in bed, a mysterious maiden would clean his house for him and make meals for the day. And it's just, I don't want to give away all these stories, but that one was a really sweet one, and it had a sad ending. Let me see what else. One hairball. That was when a toad outsmarted a tiger and a fox. So as you can see, it's very similar to these like Grimm's fairy tales, Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, but they come from the tradition and the history of China. So it's really cool that they put them together in this little book, this collection. I enjoyed it. It was one that my son read, and I read it along with him. And I'm glad it was part of our curriculum because it was a lot of fun. Let me see. As far as page numbers, this has 111 pages. There's the last picture. I've been showing you the pictures, so yes, it is illustrated. It was published in 1978, but again, the stories go all down through China's history. So there's some very old stories in this book. It's a privilege to be able to read these stories from so long ago and from a different culture. So really had fun with this. I highly recommend it. I think you will enjoy it too. Oh, reading level, one source said 4th grade and one source said 5th. I personally think 4th grade may be a little young for this book, so I'll go ahead and put it in my 5th grade playlist. So there you go. That's all I have for you today. I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions about this book, please leave it down in the comment section below. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you in our next video. Goodbye.